Before we start, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more emotional and cinematic stories that will stay with you long after the video ends. Every story here dives deep into real emotions, human connections, and life lessons you won't forget. My name is Lauren. I'm 32 years old, and for a long time, I thought I knew what it meant to be alive. I thought I understood love, contentment, and stability. But the truth is, I had been sleepwalking through my life for years, caught in a routine so familiar that I didn't even notice I was fading away. I had been married to Michael for 8 years. Michael is good. The kind of man everyone wishes they could have in their life. Reliable, patient, steady, thoughtful. Our days followed a quiet rhythm, almost like clockwork. Breakfast at 7, work until 5, dinner at 8, and silence after 9. No arguments. No drama. No excitement. Just a quiet, almost imperceptible emptiness. I loved him, or at least I thought I did. But sometimes love isn't enough when it becomes indistinguishable from habit. When the extraordinary slowly dissolves into predictable comfort, you begin to feel invisible even in the life you chose. One night, scrolling through my phone with a kind of boredom that felt heavier than it should, I saw an ad for a local dance night. Couples and singles welcome. I laughed at first. I hadn't danced since college, but there was something about it that whispered at me, a subtle pull I couldn't ignore. Maybe it was the word singles. Maybe it was the way it promised to make me feel alive. Whatever it was, I told Michael I wanted to try something new, something different. He smiled, gave me that familiar reassuring look and said, "Go for it." No questions. No hesitation. Just permission. Friday night I went alone. The studio smelled of polish and candles. Soft music drifted through the room. I felt awkward and exposed, like a stranger in someone else's life. And then I saw him, Jason. Tall, confident, easygoing. The kind of man whose presence feels effortless, and whose gaze makes you feel like you are the only person in the room. He extended his hand with a smile and said, "You look like you need to dance." And I did. At first it was simple joy. Laughter spilling over turns and spins. The way his hand guided mine. And I realized I hadn't felt this light, this free in years. But joy, especially the kind that comes from something forbidden, has a way of turning into something much more complicated. Every Friday, I found myself back at the studio. Every dance, every brush of his hand, pulled me further from the life waiting for me at home. Jason started walking me to my car. He sent texts during the week. Messages that lingered in my mind long after I read them. "You have a spark, Lauren. Don't let it die just because life got boring." I told myself it was harmless. That I was simply rediscovering pieces of myself I had forgotten. But rediscovery is dangerous when it flirts with betrayal. One night, after everyone had gone, the music kept playing. Dim lights, empty room, and him standing closer than before. It wasn't about dancing anymore. My heart raced. Thoughts of Michael, the life we built, the vows we exchanged flickered in my mind. But for one fleeting moment, I didn't want to go back. I wanted to feel seen. Wanted. Alive. Our lips almost met. I froze. Trembling, I stepped back. Jason whispered, "You don't have to go back to a life that doesn't make you happy." And yet, I drove home that night, chest tight with guilt. Because happiness built on deceit is nothing but a fragile illusion. Michael was asleep on the couch when I returned. TV humming softly. Dinner cold on the table. Peaceful. Trusting. Unaware. And it broke me in ways I hadn't anticipated. I had crossed a line long before my lips met anyone else's. My betrayal lived in my thoughts, my desires, the way I had allowed myself to drift away from him. He deserved better. And I did too. The next morning, I deleted Jason's number. I didn't return to the studio. When Michael asked if I was okay, I told him, "I think I forgot who I was for a while." He smiled, pulled me close and said, "Then let's find you again together." Forgiveness. Even without the full truth. It changed everything. 2 years later, Michael and I are learning what it truly means to live together. We travel. We hike. We laugh. We argue. But more importantly, we notice each other again. Trying something new didn't mean chasing someone else. It meant facing the emptiness, confronting the silence, and rediscovering ourselves in each other. I learned a vital lesson. You don't fill loneliness with someone else's attention. You fill it by reconnecting with your own heart and with the people who truly matter. Trying something new exposed me. It showed me how fragile loyalty can be when love goes unspoken. How easy it is to mistake being seen for being valued. If I could go back, I'd still try new things, but I'd start with honesty. Because the most important transformation wasn't in the dance or the flirtation. It was in facing the person I had become when the music stopped. Even now, I think of that night. Not because I miss Jason, I don't, but because I miss the courage I had to admit I was unhappy. That version of me was brave. Even if she looked in the wrong place first. There is a quiet kind of loneliness after almost losing everything. It's soft, insistent, living in the spaces between moments, whispering questions you can't easily answer. And yet, in the gaze of the person who chooses to stay despite seeing all your broken parts, you find something that feels like grace.